Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are having a short scene the following night, or earlier the night of today's scene. Having woken up after our Zamisi friend has arrived, Lady Angelique de Rosière decides to visit the Seer for some advice on the reasons why one of their friends might be sparkly and his suspicions of the owner of the Tainted Rose. So she makes her way to the church and has a look for Mr. Bolton.
She finds Alistair in prayer. He notices her entrance. Slowly stands up, gives her a blessing. Bless you, my child. What can I do for you this evening?
I was concerned as to whether you had noticed the unique nature of our dear friend Mr. Host's aura.
Let me think.
It seems to me that if we are looking for magic users, we might want to find out why he is lit up like the night sky.
I think I do remember when I saw him that fateful first night. Yes, he did seem to sparkle. But I don't think he could be one of the Tremere. Perhaps I'm mistaken.
I very much hope he is not, but I can't quite imagine another reason why he might have such a distinctive aura.
We might have to talk to him about it in a gentle manner. If you catch what I mean.
On the matter of the Tremere, you seemed quite certain that there was one in the city.
Yes, it's what I saw in my vision. When I looked in the ball, I saw a figure standing in plain sight, who then transformed into sand, going through the hands. And the figure seemed to be playing in a garden.
Interesting.
So what I could decipher is it's a person that doesn't have a haven that he stays in too often, but he is, or she is, out in the open, to be clearly seen.
Interesting. We might need to check a few of those places where one might go if one does not have a haven.
Which is why my suspicions were on the La Sombra and the Tainted Rose, a rose garden, hiding in plain sight.
Indeed. The one thing that worries me most is that in order to ask him to prove his clan, we went for, the Zamisi went for the notable discipline. But if these usurpers have stolen the blood, who is to say that they have not stolen more?
Yes, it's my understanding as well. What makes it so that... Because I do not know. He said something about blood magic. That is specific, but what does the blood magic do? Will it allow you to emulate someone else's discipline?
I have no idea. It is most worrying.
Yes, and Mr. Richard did produce a tentacle, black tentacle,
Or at least
that
you'll
looked as
remember him
such.
having done so.
Exactly. It was it could have been an illusion of some sort, perhaps blood magic. I don't think that his display was, well, evidence enough for me personally.
It certainly suggests that he is unlikely to be quite as obvious a suspect as our dear friend is, unfortunately.
Yes,
But it's certainly not conclusive.
because Castillo is Cappadocian, or he claims to be, right?
Are the Cappadocian known to have sparkles very often? I must confess I have not had a great deal of experience of that clan.
Let's actually see. Let's make an intelligence and occult check whether I would know. Well, that's 2 successes, and I don't think they do. They are not known to have sparkles or sparkly auras. No, as far as I know. Well, the thing that is, well, that speaks in his favor for Mr. Tassilo is his death-like state, which is typical of Cappadocians.
True, but we know so little of these Tremere and what they might look like.
Exactly. And that's troubling. How can we find out anything about a clan if we do not know our bloodline?
And we do not even know why we should, aside from the Zamisi being our honoured guests and so very interested in the matter.
Perhaps if we do find one of those Tremere, you could try and talk to that person. Maybe see what actually happened.
I am always reluctant to judge a matter on one person's side of the story.
Yes, and the fact that they sent a count of all people, well, that doesn't bode well for the Zimitzi. It feels to me as though they're trying to cover something up.
Yes. I'm not sure of the truth of the matter. All I know is that there is far too much that we do not know.
Yes, indeed, too many unknowns. I do believe you're trying to meet with the Nosferatu tonight.
To be
Oh,
honest, I'm not entirely certain whether we want to find this Tremere.
no. But let's entertain this count for now.
Yes. But the question is, if he talks so blithely, if obliquely, of the pattern of torture that he has perpetrated on this clan, do we truly want to have to face the choice of whether to turn this individual over to his tender mercy or not?
I can tell you my stance, Seneschal. As a man of the cloth, I do not see this as a righteous path to take. However, if my seneschal or prince decides that we have to, well,
I very much hope that our prince does not decide that we have to.
I prefer to not have anyone suffer needlessly. And until we know more about these Tremere, I quite frankly cannot see the need.
I was most disturbed by our La Sombra friend's attitude regarding gaining of the blood magics. Assuming he is not in fact the Tremere, he
Yes,
seemed quite eager to extract the skills by any means necessary.
yes, indeed. He did seem to imply amaranth, and well, you know my feelings towards this La Sombra.
Yes, we very much need to keep an eye on him.
Especially since he does not seem to respect his elders. I could not help but notice that he often spoke out of turn.
It was his establishment, so I was inclined to let it go.
Well, yes.
But you are right. His manners are less than ideal.
And here I always thought that the Sombra knew better.
Most of them do. The real La Sombra, anyway.
Exactly.
But if he was not,
Actually, I just thought of something. We can check whether this man, this Richard, is actually a La Sombra or not. You see, the Sombra, they cast no reflection. If looked upon via a mirror.
indeed,
If he has a reflection, well, that would
that
be.
would rather simplify matters. I shouldn't like to be overly obvious about the matter.
Well,
It might be an idea to ensure that a mirror happens to be placed near the entrance to
or if I,
somewhere that we intend to hold a meeting.
perhaps I can make a suggestion, my seneschal.
Of course.
You are a lady, of course, and sometimes a lady needs to touch upon her hair to make sure that everything is in order. And to do so, you will need a hand mirror to see what you are
Very
doing.
true.
Perhaps when you gaze through the mirror and see whether he has a reflection or not.
She smiles. Quite a good idea.
At times I am well, quite devious in my plans.
The question then is, assuming that we are able to confirm that our child is in fact a Lasombra, because to find out otherwise would be relatively simple. So assuming that he is in fact a Lasombra, how then might we go about assuring the veracity of the others in the city? And what of those that are less positively inclined to our court?
Such as?
Well, we may be able to easily confirm whether or not our friend of the Tainted Rose is Lasombra. But I doubt we will have quite so much access to the Cardinal.
Well, the Cardinal pretends to be a man of the cloth. I could, of course, invite him to a procession, a service that we can hold together. And I'm quite sure I can find a shiny chalice to look into by meeting him.
Excellent. Although I'm not certain whether he would attend or not. Given the prince's attitude towards him and the likelihood that at any moment he might find his life declared a luxury, a privilege which he has had revoked, he might be less than willing to go somewhere which he does not have the control over.
Well, if he does not want to meet me in my church, I'm quite sure that I could meet him at his, to show good faith.
Of course. It is worth asking. It is most certainly worth making the inquiry.
Apart from that, we need to figure out who else seems to move about quite a bit, but is still in the open, and I'm not sure what the garden exactly means. I thought it meant a rose, but I could not spot anyone apart from us that was kindred.
Yes. Well, perhaps a house with a large garden, literally. I do not know how your visions work, but is there such an estate, do you think?
The fine city of Jerusalem. There must be.
So if we look for a garden that has been claimed out of the sands.
And of course, sand. Sand could also mean Assamite.
It could. Which is worrying in itself because one never knows where and when they might reappear.
Exactly. But Assamites are not known to be in plain sight, though.
No. Unless one were pretending. But then if one is an Assamite, surely one could not also be a Tremere.
And, well, with Assamites, you can also see that they're Assamites. They are darker skinned than the rest of us. A lot to ponder.
Indeed, quite a confusing vision, but certainly more information than many of us have right now.
Hopefully our friends, the Strider, will be able to give us all. Also the Chamberlain can have a list of all the various people that he knows of in the city. So we
That might be quite useful.
can start crossing people off the list. Because, well, I'm quite sure that you, my seneschal, are not a Tremere.
She'll smile. And I'm quite glad to be able to extend that to you as well.
Yes, I don't even know how to do dominate. Or blood magic.
I presume we can eliminate the prince as well. If the prince were Tremere, surely he would have found a reason to prevent these Emisi from coming to the city.
Or at least remove him very, very quickly.
But beyond the three of us...
But the Venture, they have the powers of dominate. So.
Pardon?
The Venture do have the powers of dominate.
Yes.
But they do not have the powers of soul sight. Not usually.
True, but such an ability is hard to, well, one can verify it, but one can never tell if it is being used.
Yes.
So, were they to have it and not declare it, they could still use it.
Correct. There is one thing that I might be able to do. I do also possess the powers of soul sight. Perhaps I can look in some man's mind to find deep secrets within.
We must both keep very vigilant.
But I'll
Because
prefer
whatever powers we might have regarding soul sight, they may also have.
exactly. I'll perish the thought. Until later.
Well, we can but hope that the sparkles of magic will give them away.
Yes. Well, let's see if we find a lot of magic then.
Yes.
Is there anything else I can help you with, Seneschal?
No, I merely wanted to see if there was any other clues within clues in your visions. As cryptic as they are reputed to be, any suggestions might be the ones that suddenly bring clarity.
Yes, it's always difficult to see.
Still, as certain as we can be that there is a Tremere, I cannot help but wonder what we will do when we find them.
Yes. Well, my Seneschal, I will have to return to my flock.
Of course, I am sorry to have kept you for so long.
Oh, don't worry. The pleasure was all mine.
Thank you for advice. I am most pleased that you were given the position of seer. I think it will suit you quite admirably.
Thank you, my dear. I wish to serve.
And she will nod politely and she will make her way out. And there we will end the scene.